Hello and welcome to my next OTSL game, this time against Maxiu. It's Rafał Max from Poland. It's our revenge game. The first one I played as Soviets, this one I'm playing as Americans. Phew. My opponent has very low rating compared to mine, so I have to win. This is a kind of pressure. Not a very convincing hand, to be honest, but at least I can headline Middle East scoring, and then let's see what's to be countered. Being slightly lucky, I might score Asian domination, but realistically I'll be glad to score it even. Not a bad hand if it doesn't get perched. Not very rich, 2 scorings, but one of them is favorable. 15 ops, could be better, but don't be greedy. And not really problematic events in my head. This was a problematic event. Vietnam revolts make it much harder for me to fight for Asia. But at least he could pour enough to keep me access here. However, Defcon is at 4, so I have to take my chance on here. I'm using high ops card because I want to have guaranteed success, but come on, not 2. Even a 1 would be a better result, because it wouldn't give him a counter. Now with his +1 boost he may excuse me. He may coup it very strongly. And if he does, I have 2 options: coup with US-Japan, rendering myself vulnerable to blockade, or ignoring coup and going to Malaysia and Pakistan in case of his successful coup in Iran. But at least I gained military operations equivalent to what he does. Not convincing Warsaw Pact. Only defectors. Not the highest coup I've seen ever. So let's hope I'm not rolling a 1. I rolled a 3, while I would rather roll a 2. It's not bad. This going back and forth, as long as I eventually find time to score Asia without his domination. More to the point, I'd like to lower DEFCON because I don't want him to be able to headline socialist governments followed by Italy coup. Okay, at least now I get counter. I get like 2 action rounds in a row. This is very precious. Yes, I could this successfully. I know that he doesn't have blockade. So now, where was it? Maybe I shouldn't, because in a regular game you can't just look back. But this engine allows it, and what's allowed by engines legal. I was thinking about going to Pakistan and Thailand, but he's in the Pakistani war. I don't like this that much. I think I'll rather coup Iraq. This lowers DEFCON, even if he coups Iran, so that I have no access to Pakistan. I may go to Thailand and South Korea. South Korea is as risky as in the Pakistani war, because 50% chance for a loss, with one important exception. He has only one chance to score it, because it only triggers once and never returns. I think the best move is now queuing Iran with nuclear test ban. And he made a move I considered the best. So, okay, with DEFCON at 2, I think Lebanon is worth. Thailand is certainly worth. And let's march there. Options: score Asia, play Cambridge 5, or play Fidel and attempt to score Asian domination, but this would require his stupid move now and his stupid reaction to my next move with some obvious... Ooh! Okay, that was a mistake. He shouldn't have triggered this as an event, because as a threat it would be much stronger. Okay, I give him Fidel, although I didn't want to give it to him. After he got rid of CIA. But now I'm threatening immediate Asian domination. And even if he takes Pakistan, he must use one of cards he wouldn't like to. Indo-Pakistani works best as event. Excuse me, China card doesn't work good as a giveaway. And he doesn't want to trigger Marshall Plan. It was a mistake not only because he got rid of the threat, but also that even if he had won, this wouldn't be a big deal. I would just score Asia and then probably do something useful. 1-0 or 0-1, okay, I probably would never be able to control South Korea until some lucky combo of Usuri, reverse skirmish, and I don't know, until something like this happens. But other than that, it would be just a normal game with one of the most annoying events gone. So I'm at +5. I have my Milops. And I'm close to score another +5 in Asia. 5 here. These are pros. Cons. DEFCON would be at 3 and I can't protect Panama, and CIA is gone. Defectors are gone so far, and I haven't seen D-cards. The Syria move was just awkward. Okay, these two were awkward. Either Syria and something like Israel, or both to Turkey to disable me from going there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think fifth influence in Italy is useless. But yes, he defended Asia and he didn't use Indo-Pakistani war. And what the hell is this? And purge plus blockade and goodbye West Germany. Okay, let's grab 2 victory points at least. And if he got purge and blockade and NATO, he knows I won't be able to respond to blockade, which is even worse. Right sides? Not really. It's all about Europe, which is about to be scored. The bright side is that he may make a mistake, or that he may have none of these cards. So I'm gonna space Suez and play, in case he purchases me, space Suez and play Olympic Games, Independent Threats, Cambridge 5, Arab-Israeli War in this order probably, keeping my high cards for putting influence in West Germany. And remember to always have adjacency to West Germany. The first threat realized. Of course, if he does have blockade, it's best for him to play it late in turn, unless he has Europe scoring and wants to cash it in. With some very aggressive play, including China card, of his side, I can't defend West Germany against being taken. But I can delay it long enough, I guess, to to secure Canada, Greece and Spain, Portugal, and fight for not being dominated in Europe. Plus, there's still some coup to perform. Minutes per game is 9 minutes per turn, and there are different opinions about the first turns. The very logical opinion shared by Ziemowit is that first turns should be played faster because they are shorter. You have 6 action rounds each, and there are fewer cards to be remembered. Oh, so he does know I can't defend West Germany, and he succeeded. But the contrary opinion is that no, you should take your time on the early turns, because the mistakes made then may cost you the game and render themselves irreparable. So, what now? I think Olympic Games, because I want to keep independent threats as a threat in my hand. Burma doesn't make sense. Angola, I don't like Angola because I would have to take Zaire the same turn, and I may be too short to do it. I hope he doesn't have decoy. Let's fight for European countries, starting from Greece, because this is where he has access. I'm actually thinking about playing the Cambridge 5 next. If I had Europe, I would play to France or play Europe now. So he should know that I don't have it. So the Cambridge 5 doesn't reveal any information. No duck and cover plate, so attacking his hand with 5-year plan is not an option. I may be in a hard situation, but I won't be willingly losing the game due to DEFCON, just because of bad luck I could avoid. He's starting to fight for Europe. Okay, still this is where he has access. Let's make it costly for him. And socialist governments attacking Greece and Turkey is a kind of waste of a good card. But now all the ops have to go to Europe to prevent him dominating it. And because the gold didn't show up, I even can't put 2 in France. I can't afford it with this hand. Ideally, if I can hold Arab-Israeli war. And maybe I can. Okay, so he's attempting to take Greece. with a cost. Space-time. So the next op goes to Canada, because this is the best country. And now I'm thinking about attacking his hand with 5-year plan. I'm not expecting any D card. Yeah, why not? I'm perched, I have poor hand. Maybe I know why not. Because if he has blockade, he's apparently holding it for his last action round. So let's wait until now and then attack his hand. So I lost 1 BP in space, I'm losing another 2 for military operations, maybe another 2 after Indo-Pakistani war, which he's holding. And of course, if no blockade, then NORAD to France is a very good AR6, because I'm dominating Europe temporarily. So the goal and scoring, and even if he gets the goal, I would know it, so I could prepare for this particular headline, maybe. Maybe I get, for example, special relationship. With US and socialist governments to make sure it works. Not so probable. Not really happy about him playing Indo-Pakistani war, because it reduces my knowledge about his hand. But well, let's try this luck. Okay. Grabbing Nasser from him is useful. I didn't have enough ops to fight for the western region of Middle East. Going to Egypt for 1 would make no sense, so maybe he doesn't have blockade. I didn't want to risk making it with a 2, because after Nasser I would have to spend another 2 in Libya, still not secure against coups. And I would have to do it anyway, regardless of Nasser being played or not, due to his coup privilege. Maybe he has containment, to which I wasn't really prepared. But I will find a place for an extra op. Maybe France. Maybe Burma, though I doubt it. Maybe Spain, Portugal. If he plays like Czechoslovakia and Yugoslavia, because then some headlines like East European unrest or independent threats would be threatful. East European unrest strong enough even against Romanian application. Which I also hadn't seen so far. Yeah, I know it takes him a while to move, but he's really not an experienced player. And he plays quite decently as for his rating. Of course, he made some moves I consider dubious, like the socialist government's play, investing 5 ops here, triggering Korean War. In general, I used to have easier games against players of this rating. Okay, so I could have drawn much better. But he certainly could have done this much better. Malaysia and Indonesia with D-style is as huge waste. It's such a huge waste that I can't even find good words to describe it. Of course, the only non-scored region. Indonesia would be decent and enough. I got blockade. I got Europe scoring, of which he knows. He got the goal, and he may be eager to trigger it. I guess he also got Truman, and he got Deco. I think containment is a good call, because I may find myself in a situation where I will want to space Romanian abdication, play blockade with Arab-Israeli war. Europe is certainly contested. Okay, if he takes France, he gives me a battleground coup. In Angola, this is a 4 VP swing, because I have the coup, he doesn't, plus 2 VPs for switching Angola, and 2 another for switching Zaire, which is generally his. Now, so European domination is a 10 VP swing. So it's still worth for him, but it's not so certain that he gets it. Because if I coup, he needs to invest 3 more to Spain, Portugal. Sure, I can't get it. Or play in Eastern Europe. He has Comic-Con, which may turn out relatively important. Okay, it's a 6 VP swing if he gives me battleground coup, because he can always respond with deco. to which I have to react, at least with protecting Thailand. Thailand is unprotected now, so maybe this distance to Malaysia wasn't such a big waste. Anyway, 1 point into Malaysia or Indonesia just to grant access to the sub-sub region, and that's enough. South America was begging for access. I know he has Panama, but he has to walk through Colombia or hope for Junta or Allende. I have much more opportunities. Except Junta, I have OAS, I have Panama Canal returned, I have puppets. If he calculates the card, it's interesting. Yes, the goal was an obvious goal. Less obvious what's he gonna do now. I think in for a penny, in for a pound, and he should take France, especially if he has duck and cover. On the other hand, if he takes France, it may be wise to secure Europe first, because he doesn't have very good coup targets really. South Africa is the only one. Okay, there is Israel, but it's not a good coup target by any meaning of the word good. Asia 5 force. If he takes Thailand, he flips it to his domination, but I can play NORAD to France and Philippines, at least temporarily, grabbing Europe and blocking domination in Asia. If he coups now, this is what I am going to do. Block domination in Asia and grab Europe, namely NORAD to France and Thailand. UN intervening what? And securing Thailand is important indeed. So let's resolve event first. Discard and now, assuming it was his best 4-op card to play, I will start Ops War for France with NORAD, maybe, if he coups, because he has Truman. The annoying thing is that I no longer have a good card to perform coup with. Both Soviets cards are unplayable before I trigger Europe. NORAD and 5-year plan look wasteful unless I coup like Iran rather than Angola. On the other hand, I'd like to have 5-year plan to attack his hand. No sooner he spaces duck and cover, of course. But I assume he would have played duck and cover with UN intervention if he had had this in his hand. Another thing worth noting is that he had used almost 1/3 of his time, and we are still in the early war. Excuse me for a moment. using Truman now. Okay, sorry, using Truman now and cooing Lebanon at the same time was a kind of smart. So, leaving Middle East empty is not something I should afford. So had I known I could roll so high. Middle East presence is too precious. So now Ops War for France doesn't make sense because I can't recontrol France anyway. 5-year plan may make sense because he has decall. He also has containment. No, I just played containment, damn it. Okay, he had this scoring. So I have to grab him this battleground. I'm rolling very high, and this was actually an important roll because now only a brush war is a real threat to Angola. Even ABM treaty doesn't give very much about chances. He needs a 5 or 6 to control Angola. Portuguese Empire and South African unrest are almost free plays for me. And after scoring Europe, I will take a year. If he allows, I will also take Algeria. And I will probably resign from spacing Romanian application and use its 2 ops. He really should have lowered DEFCON, or at least coup with some higher... maybe not coup with some higher card. This 1 victory point due to Milops isn't rather very relevant. Of course, the drawback is that now I can't really fight against the threats in Europe he may perform. He didn't, he controlled Algeria, and this is a wise play. I had to do it now, and then I should take Zaire because he still has decall, isn't he? A very weird order of playing cards by him. Some prevention from Nasser. Actually, this Egypt move was not wise because I can't afford the follow-up to Libya after his decall. This is a mistake of my side. After he decalls, I probably have to retake Zaire and protect Thailand against China takeover. Luckily enough for me, he can't dominate Asia with decall as an event because There's a draw with battlegrounds which he can't break. So as USA, I am ending up the early war with 0 score. Maybe +1 for me. I don't assume -1 after his space race, I can assume him spacing. And about an even board, except Central America, which is in his favor. What the hell is this? South America scoring, Southeast Asia scoring. We will bury you, so missile envy may be a very good call. I don't really want to play APM treaty soon, because I want to have this as a response to what he does, plus I want to have not so high DEFCON. What can kill me? A combo like Cuban Missile Crisis and Duck and Cover, but I can't take this risk. I want to play OAS into South America and then APM treaty to somehow improve my position there. We will bury you to space, Quote Morale to hold South African unrest, as said previously. Not very meaningful. Strong event, but not a painful one for me. I think I'm gonna sacrifice Southeast Asia, meaning whatever happens there, I just don't care and let it go. It's a +1 for me. I easily come to +2 if I find time to contest it. Ops are not a problem, but South America looks more important. I may even find myself playing ABM for influence in South America. Of the two anti-Angolan events, I would rather draw Portuguese Empire Crumbles, because after triggering this would give me a coup target in case I'd like to play ABM for ops. Okay, I have a coup option. I think with the 4, Panama is the best target. And clearing is not the worst outcome that could happen. Main issue about Southeast Asia is that it is also Asia, in which he may soon dominate. Europe is scored so far, so independent threats is an easy play for ops. By an easy play, I mean easy decision. greedy can I be in South America? I think Venezuela or Argentina, and then just attempt to dominate it. Control is above my hand. But domination is not. No Colombia. Maybe Brazil rather than Venezuela, in case he has Panama Canal return. But Colombia, because with Brezhnev he has so strong coups. Yeah, Asia. Asia costs. But Asia can't really be defended. This is the problem. So let's play OAS. And have this other op, because I have one useful op from independent threats to play in Asia. This is Philippines. And the other op played in South America may be decisive with my not so rich hand. The first battleground is worth 3. The next is worth 1, while the next non-battleground is worth another 3. The double scoring paralyzes me somehow. I will delay Southeast Asia scoring. Not the biggest deal. Okay, maybe a 4 VP swing if he has brush war. But this can be really helped. If Kennedy appears, I'll just drop it. There are 3 scorings remaining, except those in my hand. This is to be taken into account how many cards I can drop with Kennedy. Actually, I'm thinking... Ooh. Nasty that this event was empty. What's there in Central America? It's a 5 instead of a 3. Not the biggest deal ever. APM treaty is very good as an answer to something, so I think I'll hold it. So my next move is probably South African unrest to Paraguay rather than Uruguay, because if he coups successfully, I don't want him to have access to Brazil. South African unrest problem is that if he takes Botswana, his initial coup next turn may give him African domination, but I don't think it's easily preventable. one unusual use I could make of ABM treaty is an AR7 event and then not queuing to grab one more victory point from, say what? Okay. If you wasted your 4-up like this, I'm gonna punish you like this. Yes, I'm losing 3 victory points, but this is worth. Flipped Asia. As far as I remember... Okay, I remember wrong. But Asia is flipped so far, and he really wanted DEFCON to be high for some reason. I got rid of We Will Bury You, I got a very precious coup. Not helping in the regions I'm contesting, but very helpful in the map. Flipping Pakistan now is a very big deal. He's congratulating me, so I probably messed up with his plans. He's not in a DEFCON suicide trap. He's Brezhnev Doctrine, and the only DEFCON suicides are grain sales and duck and cover, because CIA is gone, so he may easily space one of them and hold the other. But he can't get involved in a coup war, and he wasted a very precious card for a null effect. Okay, he gained 3 victory points, as he would if he had played this for the event at DEFCON 5. But other than that, he wants to go to Panama. Okay. Let's give him his We Will Bury You ops. Victory points. Let's think about it. Now I realize that Venezuela, then he goes to Panama, then my ABM treaty may control South America, plus he doesn't have mill-ups targets. The drawback is if he responds to it anyway, I end up with South America not controlled and not dominated, and have to play my scoring cards, both. Okay, let's not be too greedy. 3 victory points are lost anyway. It should have been Paraguay, not Uruguay. I'm not really sure what's my follow-up if he coups Paraguay successfully. I guess it's triggering South America scoring, because ABM treaty looks so much as the best hold card for this game, or as the best card to grab Panama if he takes it. Afghanistan was prevention against Asian domination, But Burma was a better choice. I have access to both, and Burma scores in Southeast Asia as well. One South Africa, two Botswana is certainly the best. Oh, I'm dominating Asia again. Okay, this cost me 2 victory points here, perhaps 2 more for military operations. Maybe I should have scored South America for 3, but I don't think I would ever know this. Of course, I could play move like Quagmire to Burma and then score Southeast Asia and ABM Treaty as the next headline, but no reason to do this. 1 victory point in Southeast Asia is certainly not worth. And I don't like Central America, so I want to have some mobility to play against it. And yeah, what I said, that I didn't really like playing Fidel, but the timeliness required it. At the moment I did it. Now I'm paying for having played Fidel. 4th turn, and he already used almost half of his time limit. But he keeps a quite decent position, this has to be said. I want to cut his access here, and yeah, I'm holding Quagmire just enough if he has the scoring. If he doesn't, his whole plan was rather crude. Crawling is not a bad idea, but you should to create multiple threats by this. If he was just about to crawl, he should have played like a move like 1 Panama and 1 Tunisia, threatening to take Libya. Or 1 Panama and 1 South Africa, something like this. So Central America, Africa and Asia. Africa looks Soviet. It's presumably even now, but unless I get grain sales, it looks Soviet. Grain sales or nuclear subs or something like this. Central America, volatile but rather Soviet. Asia is funny because it's American but still volatile. I got Indo-Pak, I got Bertrop. Oh, so many good cards. I think I'm gonna start with Junta. Or not. I wanted to drop Defcon, but Cooing Cuba is not the best deal ever. And Bear Trap makes the job as well. I prefer cooing Nigeria to cooing Cuba, actually. Well, at first place I prefer him not having a coup target. I hope he doesn't purge me now, because this would be somehow problematic. For example, I couldn't really fight for domination in Africa, because taking non-battlegrounds would be too hard unless he fails on his first Bear Trap attempt, and I am able to coup Nigeria to control it, or at least to deny him controlling it. Space Quagmire holds socialists. Ideally, maybe hold defectors. Not a big deal, but I feel defectors are a time-consuming factor on his side, and if he gets too lucky, time may suddenly become an important factor in the whole game. Okay, he's hoarding the China card. Indo-Pak is an obvious. So he gets his cool. I should have headlined Hunter. At least the Defcon Suicide card is gone, but after cooing Zaire, I find myself in a bad situation. Okay, but this should be time consuming for him as well. And maybe I'm lucky and he rolls a 1 against Zaire. Still not lucky enough to dominate Africa, but if he rolls high, 3 is high enough. Annoyingly. He failed on his first attempt. Okay, my hand is too poor, so I'm gonna be defensive here. I'm just controlling damage. This reduced his score by 3 victory points, and that's perfectly okay. Africa may be scored now. Central America. Okay, so Asia is the only region left now. In this case, there's no reason to wait with this any longer. Succeeded luckily. 7 countries. And shuttle diplomacy. This should ensure me domination. So there's one turn to boost up something. Scandal. Now Indo-Pakistani war won at 50% is not a scandal at all. Rolling a 6 may be a scandal, but only in a sense that it always wins an Indo-Pakistani war against India. Maybe he's talking about the Holy Trinity of the mid-war. I got ABM, now I have Junta and he knows it. And nobody knows where Brush War is. Is it worth to trigger our man in Tehran? I don't think so, because what would I like to discard? Scorings are gone except Asia, which I don't want to discard. Che is painless. Wheelbarrow is gone. Long Gunman is gone. Okay, Liberation Theology. OPEC. It still doesn't seem worth. If it appears after the reshuffle, it may be far more useful. So the priorities now. Excuse me. I think I should take a look at South America. And Libya, Muslim Revolution. Actually, I don't really need Libya. Let Muslim Revolution come before Camp David and Sadat come. So South America, Europe sooner or later, securing Asia somehow to some extent. Mexico usually worth, but not such a big deal. We're fighting for Asia. As said, our man in Tehran is not very important as an yet. It's a funny situation where Junta is a useless event. I think this was his attempt to defend Asia, but if so, he really should have played this China card. I mean, yes, I understand hoarding it, but the object of the game is to gain 20 victory points or to win the final scoring, but not to have the China card all the time. Okay, space time or not? OPEC? OPEC versus Muslim. I'm gonna rather ignore OPEC. To move socialist governments, repairing its damage. And the last move. I think Defector is the last move. He saw my hands. He'd be ready for Defectors. But Junta is almost always a strong hairline. Against Liberation Theology, I prefer to have Liberation Theology triggered first, but you can't have it all. If I have a spar up from socialist governments, I will have more than one. Okay, I'll have one. Let's not make it too easy for him to dominate. I will take Argentina. This is the end of my sentence. I know it's all about John Paul now, or a combo of Salt IBM, or tear down this wall and France. I'm glad NATO is in place, so brushwork can target Italy. It can target Argentina and Brazil and Panama. The situation in America is weird. You hardly see such separated countries. And Asia. Breaking North Korea doesn't make any sense because it doesn't count anyway. Now that shuttle diplomacy is in effect. Let's take one battleground. I got OPEC, but I haven't seen grain sales, so I think I can make it somehow problematic for him. No really good coup targets. OPEC for space, Portuguese is easily handled, so Kennedy probably stays. Sadat should wait for Muslims. Asia is how many? 7? 8, well. Plus with Red Scar, he can't also space John Paul. This is good because I will need it sooner or later. Otherwise I'll have to break France on my last action round. What else? Cultural Revolution, yeah. He may play the China card, grab it, play it again, and hold 3 cards. So, if I had to bet now, I would bet that this game is gonna end by him exceeding the time limit. Excuse me for a moment. assault negotiation, so he enabled himself a coup against Asia, the only non-scored region yet, but with an effective -2 modifier. One is for Red Scar, the other one is for salt. In such a case, even the China card against Thailand doesn't really promise much. Rolling a 6, he controls Thailand, but oh, he grabbed IBM, and he's gonna coup Pakistan with -2. Come on. Who am I to prove you wrong? Asia is at 7 rather than 8 now, right? Yep. Yep. Okay. So he finally played this China card. A funny volatile situation. Not so much funny because I prefer volatile situations against strong opponents. On the other hand, the more volatile, the more time consuming. Arms race go for ups, colonials event, but when DEFCON goes low or when ABM is played. With ABM and DEFCON at 4, I can play colonials because I have a recoup for whatever he coups. Plus, if he has grain sales and duck and cover, he may think about playing one of these cards. I'm afraid he has Cultural Revolution and he's gonna use it. It's not discarded, isn't it? Nah, certainly not removed as well, because I remember that I didn't have it and it was his first China card play throughout the game. So everything scored so far. I can fight for Europe. I probably have to sacrifice Middle East. To some extent I probably have to sacrifice Africa. I can and should keep Asia. And I can and should get strong in South America. But first, let's have a look in Pakistan. Yeah, I know it's vulnerable to some coups, but let him do coups. He needs high rolls, really high rolls, under such circumstances. Strongly playing under OPEC. I'm thinking about holding OPEC just to be able to space it on turn 7, like holding D cards to turn 3. But I think it's not really worth with Kennedy. There are much more cards now, so the chance of drawing the same card back is significantly lower than on turn 7, on turn 3. Okay, dropping Defcon time. Because keeping the Defcon at this level with his ABM renders me annoyed, sorry. I am annoying anyway, this is a different matter. So let's call... oh, Muslim goes there. Fair enough as a cool result. With colonial regards, Zaire is a better target just because of some realignment options. And if he now spends APM Treaty as an effectively 2-ops card for Zaire, it's perfectly okay with me. I know, play own cards first, but this is a very meaningful exception. Aren't really good targets. About Junta, because OPEC goes to Space Colonials event, Sadat perhaps event, so it's not really clear about Junta target, but I think Uruguay is the best. No longer. Peru and punishing the opponent for his decision. Sneaky to realign Argentina. Of course, no Mexico. I have access there, plus this is the least important region, and all the regions are to be contested, frankly speaking. So with Muslims gone, I think now you should have some problematic cards like Camp David, like John Paul, like Crane Says, like Duck and Cover, finally succeeded in Space Race. Yeah, I know. Perhaps it's mainly Middle East. I am not leading with battlegrounds. Leading in Asia, in South America, Europe and Middle East make up for it. Not the biggest deal. Kitchen debates at this stage, rather something like a card to show what's the situation. It's something really important. If he had to, he'd suffer this. He didn't, so he just played this. So we're gonna play the China card and keep 4 cards for the reshuffle. Excuse me. With Salt, China, Cultural and China, this is possible. On the other hand, if I get Red Scar next time, I have China card, and both Chinese events giving the China card to the USA are in the deck, with none of the USA events. Oh, nuclear subs, I forgot about this one. But I feel colonials as an event under Salt would do much better. So 1, 2. Let's make it a domination. And let this boost up the weakest battleground. I don't really need these. Holy Trinity came to me. I got brush war. Missile ending. Am I risking anything? I also got duck and cover, and I could really headline it, but another OPEC to be spaced. Europe is the biggest problem, and this is why I think Missile Envy is a better headline than duck and cover. Because I may be able to respond to his threats. I have Cuban Missile Crisis and duck and cover. We will bury you with guns, so I really don't think I'm risking anything. Although I didn't make very high calculation. He got grain sales and he will be able to space it. I think I'm gonna hold Kennedy one more turn. Thank you, sir. Did you hope for defectors? You're not giving me defectors now, do you? This would be the funniest Missile Envy drawback I've ever seen. Although the information that he doesn't have anything higher than 2 ops would be useful. But if he had defectors, he wouldn't probably. Oh, yes, of course, he had taken this the previous turn and I forgot it. DEFCON at 4, so I can't realign France to PT. And no very good targets for coups elsewhere. So let's make it this way. So whatever he coups, I have a counter. On the other hand, maybe I should put 3 in France. This or France? I'm gonna be unable to take France anyway. Let's sacrifice Europe as a region. Oh, I already committed this move. Okay. Actually, duck and cover for ops. Sorry, for event doesn't look that bad now. Denies him coup. Give me 3 victory points. Yeah, why not? I will have my military operations. So next action round, if he allows Cuban Missile Crisis to Poland. I don't think he allows it. So otherwise... the priorities... I'm not even sure if Panama Canal return is worth playing the event, but I want one in Venezuela anyway, so having one more in Panama and Costa Rica is only a good thing. Targets for brush war? That's so obvious as well. Paradoxically, Greece looks the best. Maybe I'm gonna play brush war against Greece if he plays into Poland right now. Because what else? Nigeria? It's okay, but I'm dominating Africa anyway. Yes, he's gonna have his... He's gonna have his coup, I was just about to say, but now I suddenly got a good brush war target and failed, so not so straightforward about Central America right now. Have high ops cards to perform realignments when I would like to, because what about Europe? You know what, let's count on tear down this wall and realigning France. So now let's perform realignments here. Failed, succeeded, and here succeeded. Full success. This is exactly what I wanted to achieve. Emptying Chile, emptying Mexico. If I got another realignment roll, I would attempt Nigeria, but this would be dishonest if I had succeeded this as well. Maybe I shouldn't give up Europe this easily, but it's really impossible in Twilight Struggle to protect all the regions at once when you don't have an absolutely superior hand, and I don't. Kennedy should be useful enough. If I get some bad scoring, I can get rid of this. I'm not afraid of DEFCON because I don't have influence in Cuba, so Ortega is safe. will bury you in long time are gone. Excuse me. But still I can get some very unpleasant hand. And then, oh well. Would be funny to see Latin American death squads. Now, I think I wouldn't even discard any card, even if I wanted to, just to see Paraguay boosted to 8. Space time, okay. For this, the spacing Willy Brandt, yeah, I know Willy Brandt is one more victory point for him. And both of these cards may be nullified. But okay, I space one and play the other one. OPEC is a 4 VPs. Or I play Kennedy and I really want to keep Kennedy in hand. And I still bet on this game ending up with time exceeding. No decision. I wonder why this doesn't trigger automatically. I mean, if independent threats have only one target, it triggers automatically. Truman does not. East European unrest does not. Not to speak about Suez crisis with only one option. There's not much logic in it. Camp David Accords, I still haven't seen it. I'd like to see it to be able to use Willy Brandt to put 2 in Israel, making sure that I have access there. I have bad feelings about Marine barrack bombings, that's just it. Losing 5 in Lebanon hurts, even if it's 5 aren't really worth much more than 2 would be, because I don't have my distal equivalent. A very long and hard game, thinking about our ratings. Come on, still count on Asia so much. Okay, I can easily play this for ops, just secure Asia, although you may Zaire, yeah, that's true. Or get rid of another Defcon suicide. It's also true, and in this case your move is justified. That was not the right target, I guess, unless he has this particular scoring. He does not. It was his last action round. Okay. Okay, I can live with this. Either war games, I got Red Scare. war games are likely to end this game. Therefore, I'm not gonna play Red Scare because I don't want to be forced to give wargames to Missile Envy. The Reformer and Quagmire are both spatial even if I'm perched under Missile Envy. So let's just give this a chance. Ooh. I also don't want to have you. No discarding of bad scorings. So wargames must wait. So Purge has to be played soon. Unless I earn victory points by arms race and Nixon and... You're so stubborn about this. Okay, no purging him. Anti-Iron Lady move. I think I'm gonna hold wargames. Although I don't feel I can really score arms race this turn. And I don't really feel I can score Nixon this turn. Quagmire to space and the Reformer played onto myself. I need Milovs anyway. If he coups, I can freely play arms race. Probably fighting for Europe eventually. Especially if I'm intending to play the Reformer on myself. But I discarded Glasnost, so this should be acceptable. And should bluff him into something that, like, I have a tough hand. I must say, I really didn't expect such a tough game against such a low rated player. But two things are convincing me that I'm gonna win this game. Three things actually. The first thing is I have wargames. The second thing is I'm leading the map. And the third thing is there are 5 scorings left and only one of them favors my opponent. So arms race is no longer applicable. I'm waiting with Nixon because I prefer to get 2 VPs than to get the China card without him playing it. But I'm gonna play it for the event anyway. Now let him decide. 4 is repairable. I have over control everywhere except Spain, Portugal, so not a very big deal. Not a very meaningful access gainer as well. Self-reparation. Yes, I appreciate special relationship. A card I forgot, and it may be quite important right now. So the next idea is to space Quagmire and then 6 ops to play with Arms Race and Astronaut and Nixon as an event. And War Games as a hold card. That's the plan. Which may of course be ruined by terrorism or missile envy or things like this. Yeah, again. Oh! I earned these 2 victory points this time. Switch of plans, because now I should secure my domination in Africa. And he's still in time trouble, and he's in bigger and bigger time trouble. Even if I wanted to, I can't help this. I can't add up any amount of time to his clock under this engine. I hope it doesn't disturb him enough to lose precious seconds, but I feel like I should warn him about this. One explanation for the people who asked me to increase the time limit in ITSL and I didn't agree. Yes, my mate from the Czech Republic, I'm thinking about you especially. Well, I am going to 2 tournaments, and I deliberately read the rules and choose the rules of which I like. I could join RTSL, but I didn't, deliberately. I choose ITSL and OTSL are different from each other. I choose OTSL because I want to test some new solutions against players who are quite slightly weaker, because in OTSL I have weaker opponents than ITSL. The weaker opponents require more time, and that's okay for me. I also have to think longer about experimental solutions. And this is an experimental tournament for me. No offense for Craig, for who organizes it. I appreciate this tournament very much, but treat it this way. ITSL is the strongest tournament in TS Twilight Struggle, which happens right now. Maybe OTSL, which I organized since 2016 until 2018, was stronger, but it's no longer active. So in ITSL I expect stronger opponents, faster opponents, and more requiring opponents, and no place for experimenting. Okay, Iranian hostage crisis, Sudan, Botswana, South Africa. Africa is still on my side. Space-time, waiting for his move. Succeeded, so he can't see my headline any longer. Not that he ever could. I'm thinking about putting Asknot into Poland, just to provoke him to counter, maybe with a China card, which would enable Nixon. I mean, Poland is the first target on the list, because, first of all, I have event. Turn down this wall, and it's against East Germany and France in this particular position. Second, after Solidarity he can shore it up. This is moot because he now got into Africa to equalize it, almost. So I'm gonna just grab African domination back and make something useful with my last op. And Nixon plays the China card. Can as well break Poland, but I think it can break China. It can grab China even more effectively. I'm holding wargames because first I feel that I'm able to win by wargames, and second, I'd rather win with this game by wargames than on time. Excuse me? I'm back. Ooh. I don't know if I should have known that he had the call. Unpleasant surprise to be said. But I'm not gonna deviate from my plans. I want your China card. Ooh, I got this Africa scoring. Europe scoring. Okay, my decision may strike back strongly. I got Africa, so he didn't. So how about solidarity? And then grab Poland. If he grabs Poland, cool. Central America is for 0. Although junta would be nice. Muslim as some kind of anti-missile envy. That was a weak move. Because it could... Okay, if he has South America scoring, it was a good move, but otherwise not. Okay, I'm keeping Muslim Revolution against Missile Envy. Oh, it's in this card. Still. I want to be secure there and there. I'll fight for domination in Africa and Europe, and I hope to end this game, this turn, after scoring one region and then play war games. Because Africa is +1, Europe is +1. I could theoretically go Africa, Europe, and Vegan Bonds to Libya. But Special relationship. I'm gonna fight for it. Well, wait a second. This doesn't give me what I wanted to have. African domination. Okay, I know, you don't have Muslim Revolution. Sorry, you don't have Missile Envy. You may have terrorism, yes. What you don't have is time. I mean, I can't see how he's keeping the time. He can't win it before the final scoring, but I think he can't make it until the final scoring. I can't really dominate Africa, he has too much. And I'm really tired, so I may play this game suboptimally from now on. I'm not gonna disturb him about time exceeding alert again. So 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. The countdown I once implemented in my crime story, the only one I've written in English, although I'm not a native English speaker. And as I supposed, thank you for watching and see you next time.